Hi, I'm Donna Wolfe from Naztazia.com. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet and knit a Chinese knot-inspired bath or kitchen scrubby. You can find the written pattern on my website, Naztazia.com. For my scrubbies, I used 100% cotton yarn in several colors. We will also be using 2 strands of yarn held together at once. If you crochet, use an H size or 5mm hook. For the knitted version, you can use long, straight needles in size 10.5, or you might need to use circular needles to accommodate all of the stitches. For the crochet version of the scrubby, start off with 2 strands of yarn held together. You'll need to know how to make chains and single crochets for this project. If you need help with the basics, please see my beginner YouTube videos. After the slip knot, chain 81. Then, for the first row, skip the first chain and do a single crochet into the next chain. Continue across with single crochets for a total of 80 on that row. Repeat this 80 single crochets across for a total of 5 rows. I also like to work in the back loops only to create a nice ribbed effect. If you want to change colors every row or 2 like I did, proceed to make the last stitch. Grab 2 strands of another color of yarn. Wrap this yarn around your hook, then pull this new yellow color through the 2 loops already on your hook to complete the stitch. Then, with the new yarn strand, chain 1 and turn your work. Skip that first chain and proceed to single crochet as normal across the row. We will weave in those ends later. After you have finished your 5 rows of 80 single crochet stitches, your work should look something like this. Folding it is a bit complicated. Be sure to use the pause and rewind buttons several times if you need for this next part. First, we're going to fold the strip almost as if we were making an awareness ribbon. Then make another loop that almost looks like a teardrop. Next, put the long tail underneath our short starting end. While holding the tail, reach inside that teardrop and put that tail underneath the strip that's in there. And pull it through. Grab that tail end one more time, put it over the loop that's right next to it, then reach from behind and push that tail end underneath the loop towards the back. Put your 2 ends together, and if you did it correctly, the striped colors will line up with each other when you put the strips back to back. Thread a yarn needle and proceed to stitch these 2 pieces together. Your stitches do not need to be perfect since this seam will be hidden inside one of the scrubbies loops. Once you get to the end, reach inside and weave in the ends. Then use your scissors to cut off the excess. After doing this, you can slide the loops around a bit and hide that seam. Then turn the scrubby over and adjust the loops as necessary to make it even. You can see what it looks like on both sides now. And you can also flatten it out a bit to make it more like a rounded, square, weaved looking thick scrubby. Next, for the knitted version, you can use whatever cast on method you prefer and cast on 80 stitches, holding 2 strands of yarn together. Then just knit across all rows. Do about 9 rows of 80 knit stitches on each row. Granted, knitting with 2 strands of yarn can be challenging at times. If you want to change colors, Cut your first yarn about 6 inches from an end stitch. Then grab your next color of yarn and proceed to do a knit stitch with it. What I then like to do is lay my work down and just tie the new end to the old end. Later on, I'll weave in these ends securely. Pick up your needles and proceed to knit with the new color yarn. After you finish your rows, it is time to cast off your stitches using any method you'd like. Now it's time to fold it, just like the crochet method. Be sure to use the pause and rewind buttons several times if you need for this next part. First, make an almost awareness ribbon shape. Then make another loop that almost looks like a teardrop. Next, put the long tail underneath our short starting end. While holding the tail, reach inside that teardrop and put that tail underneath the strip that's in there. Grab that tail end one more time. Put it over the loop that's right next to it and push that tail end underneath the loop towards the back. Now, take the two short ends and match up the colors back to back. Take your yarn needle and begin to sew the seam together. This does not need to be perfect since this will be hidden. Then turn the scrubby over and weave in the ends securely. Cut your yarn, then turn over the scrubby and adjust the loops to hide that seam. And here is your finished knitted scrubby. This pattern produces a ball shape, as you can see. However, it can also be flattened into another shape. You can squeeze it flat and convert it into a nice rounded square weaved-like scrubby. I hope this video has helped you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my website at Naztazia.com for more tips and tricks on creative, self-sufficient living.